Yes, there's been gallons of this stuff flowing around here at Ibrox in the last few weeks. It's been a champagne finish for Rangers, winning their third Premier League championship in a row and their fourth in 5 years. The latest triumph came after 10 torrid months of drama, excitement and controversy. A remarkable season by any standards, and one which all fans will remember for their own special reasons.
Gentlemen, we're gathered here today to confirm that Graham Souness has decided to join Liverpool Football Club.
That stunning announcement at Ibrox was followed by a hero's welcome for Graham Souness at Anfield, the ground which made him as a player. But he's still a Rangers fan, and he's confident about the future for his old club.
That team, if they can remain fit, will win the championship next year and the year after that.
At Celtic, a season of turmoil for Billy McNeill, as the club failed to win a trophy for the second year in succession, and the knives came out for the manager. So ended a long relationship between Celtic and Caesar. McNeill sacked by a board which admitted its uncertainty about the future. On the international scene, a succession of injuries and call-offs forced Andy Roxburgh to take desperate measures. But against all the odds, the team battled to the top of the European Championship table. And in the Scottish Cup, the people of hard-hit Motherwell were at last given something to celebrate. The team put together on a shoestring by Tommy McLean had brought home the cup for the first time in 39 years. All of a sudden, the Lanarkshire Steel Town had a smile on its face, and the Motherwell players were looking forward to the club's first campaign in Europe. But the season really revolved around Ibrox, and while Rangers' big-money players were setting the pace on the field, over there, an incredible array of even more expensive industrial muscle was busy completing a stadium to rank with the best in the world. The £13 million reconstruction of the main stand has been an enormous engineering project, but already the new top tier is in place and the roof will follow soon. Thereafter, the lower tiers will be rebuilt and the whole project is scheduled for completion in October. That will give Rangers the finest stadium in Britain and one of the best in Europe. A 50,000 capacity with everyone seated and under cover. It's all part of Rangers' policy to give their fans the best on and off the field. Even basic facilities at Ibrox are impressive, with fans able to enjoy civilised surroundings before matches and get their teeth into some fast food, all of course carrying the Rangers name. Upstairs, the club's identity is no less prominent, as the executive box fans go through a more luxurious pre-match build-up. As expected, every seat was taken on the opening day of the season when the League Championship flag was raised. The opponents that day were Dunfermline, and Rangers took up where they left off.
Brown pushing up on the left to take the pass from Spackman. That's towards Haitley. The opener for Rangers. Split in by Cosma. Helped on there by Butcher as far as Paul Smith. Ricochet there, it's turned in by McCall, and Dunfermline are back on level terms. Walters wants to take on Wilson. Great cross from Johnston. Walters again trying to test Tom Wilson, this time going inside, brought down from the rear, and that is a penalty kick.
For Rangers' old rival Celtic, the season started with high hopes. A £2 million spending spree during the summer had made the fans confident of success. But on the opening day of the season, Motherwell had a shock in store for them.
Just under 15 minutes to go, and still no scoring at Croke Park, but here's a chance for Bobby Russell. Great play by Russell. Oh, marvellous goal by Bobby Russell. Motherwell getting players forward. Yep. Against Morris. Here's another chance for Motherwell, and the ball goes into the net. Dougie Arnott gets the scorer.
Celtic also suffered by having an early meeting with Aberdeen, a team which was already emerging as one of the season's major forces.
Oh, tremendous goal by Paul Mason. Ryan Grant providing the cross, Robert Connor. Oh, tremendous save by Robert Connor. Makes it 2-0 to Aberdeen. More danger for Celtic. Mason through to Heelhouse. Elliott giving chase, Hans Heelhouse. And a good goal for Aberdeen.
A bad start for Hearts caused Alex McDonald to be the first managerial casualty of the season. His sacking came just before a match against Hibs, and caretaker boss Sandy Clark found himself in the hot seat for the first Edinburgh derby since Wallace Mercer had tried to buy Hibs.
Miller getting the touch to it. Robertson's in there. Robertson doing well. And the deflection, it's a goal for Hearts. Oh, what a disaster for Hibs. Craig Levine there, poised for the cross. Levine with the header and the ball in the net, and it's John Robertson, I think, getting the final touch. Certainly a powerful header from Craig Levine. So Hearts keeping on the pressure. Cahoon, good ball through to Foster, he's got Robertson in the middle. John Robertson, what a goal by Hearts. Oh, that was magnificent play.
6 days later, Joe Jordan was named as Hearts' new manager. The former Scotland star had made a big impact as boss of Bristol City, but he went to Edinburgh under no illusions about the job that lay ahead of him. And that was underlined when, for his first match, he went to Parkhead to see his new team take on Celtic.
Fulton, good play by John Collins, and a goal for Celtic, and it's John Miller. Miller taking on McKinley again. Sending the ball through to Jakinovsky. Delivers a cross, Creedy! Oh, great goal by the Celtic substitute. Another chance for Celtic! Oh, yes!
So a disappointing start for Jordan on the same day as another great character in Scottish football was playing his last game for Rangers. The match at Tannadice started well for Rangers when Maurice Johnston put them ahead. But then came the beginning of the end for Terry Butcher. An own goal then in this vital match against league leaders Dundee United. And then Butcher, still fighting a fitness battle after being injured in the World Cup, stretched by Darren Jackson, and that sets up the winner for United. Butcher was dropped for the next game and didn't play again, finally going to Coventry as player-manager. In the meantime, Soviet international defender Oleg Kuznetsov had finally arrived at Rangers in a £1.2 million deal which had been set up last summer but which took months to complete. So another world-class player at Ibrox, but Rangers weren't getting things all their own way. Dundee United's young team were forging ahead in the league, and they were also through to the semi-finals of the Skol Cup. There, however, they came up against a Celtic team which was showing signs of a major revival.
Miller gets in the cross, Queenie's up there! Jerry Queenie! Preston, not a good clearance, McStay again, great play by McStay!
So Celtic through to the final. The other semi set up the long-awaited first meeting of the season between Rangers and Aberdeen.
Trevor Steven, it's a fabulous goal!
The Old Firm final was saved for a rainy day in October. But the torrent which washed around Hampden that day couldn't dampen the drama of a great occasion involving Scotland's oldest rivals.
And Woods has to save as suddenly it opened up for Craney. Goff let it get away from him. Craney did well. Jakanovski against Brown. Past Brown, but not past Woods. Touch from Hateley. The through ball from Hurlock. Bonner's come. McCoist. Oh, and the referee rules that that's a dive. And it's Celtic with Fulton. And Fulton improvised well. Jakanovski. And again. Oh, and a slip here by Dovcik. And it's Mark Hateley for Rangers. But Paul Elliott for Celtic. Yogan. Ooh, Jakanovski could come up with something special here. Look at this, look at this! In the end, the deflection was cruel for Jackie Jakanovski. Here's Grant for Celtic. Craney's held a good position here. Jakanovski won the ball in the first place, but Craney with a lovely run and a deliberate shot, which speaks volumes about his potential. Oh, and it's turned in by Elliott! Celtic have scored! Paul Elliott reacted. McCoist, Walters, 1-1. Absolutely no chance for Bonner. Hateley. Well, Bonner could have been beaten by any sort of second touch. And Jakanovski is away. No time to ponder on that for the moment. He's short of support. It's arrived now in the shape of Chris Morris. And here's Collins lining one up. Elliott. Look at him go. Jakanovski. And again. Oh, is it for Hewitt? Rogan and Jakanovski. What a wonderful save by Woods. Is it in? It is. It's Richard Goff who came round the back, and we'll feel here that he could have won it for Rangers.
So the first trophy of the season went to Rangers, and already their supporters were anticipating their best season ever under Graham Souness. Talk had already started about the magical treble, but while Souness enjoyed the Skull Cup celebrations with his players, he knew there was still a long, hard season ahead.
It's the biggest challenge of Duke Mackenzie's life. A chance to win the WBO bantamweight world title. His opponent, title holder Gabby Canizales. The fight comes live in a ringside special. Be there on Sunday at 10:15 with Sky Sports. Duke's looking forward to it.
The latest innovation from Innovations is this amazing pocket-sized 5-language translator, and you can buy it direct by mail or phone. Just imagine having the 5 most popular European languages at your fingertips and being able to translate 1,400 commonly used words from one language to any other 4 at the touch of a button. Well, that's exactly what the Pocket Translator can do in English, French, German, Spanish and Italian. Whether you're shopping in Germany or doing homework in French, simply set the language you want to translate from, tap in the word, press the required language, et voila! Small enough to carry in a pocket or handbag, the Pocket Translator is a must for the holidaymaker. It's versatile. If you make a mistake, you can replace the letters one at a time. Longer words can be scrolled across the display. With the capacity to store 7,000 words in translation, the Pocket Translator can handle lots of routine word translations both from English and into English. The translator comes with full instructions and a guarantee and is only $19.95 plus $1.95 delivery. With 1992 approaching fast, the Pocket Translator is an indispensable travel aid and a great Christmas gift. To make it yours, call 071 331 6383 now and use these credit cards. That's 071 331 6383. Or write to Innovations Mail Order Limited, Department AS03, Euroway Business Park, Swindon, SN5 8SN. Enclosing a cheque for £21.90 made payable to Innovations, which includes $1.95 delivery charge, plus of course your own name and address. The Pocket Translator from Innovations.
Thursday night on Sky One means the best in family entertainment. We bring you 4 top-ranking stateside shows exclusive to Sky. 7:30 in living colour. It's weird. It's wonderful.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
At 8, keep in harmony with Full House.
I know everything you're going to say even before you say it.
Oh, do you?
Next up, the wit and wisdom of Murphy Brown.
Here's Dan Quayle on the driving range. And they said he wouldn't have anything to do.
Rounding off with the women of China Beach.
If one more guy comes up to me, I'll just scream.
Ladies?
Sky One, making Thursday nights worth staying in for.
The 16th Universiade, the World Student Games, only on Sky Sports, the future of sport.
In the Premier League, competition was fierce, but the title race was really between 2 teams. So Rangers were 3 points clear of Aberdeen at the turn of the year, and the rest were falling out of touch. For Graham Souness and Walter Smith, everything was going well. So well that Souness was linked with other clubs, including Real Madrid. At that time, however, the last thing on his mind was a move from Ibrox.
I've got a contract here. I'm happy here. I'm as happy as I've been in my footballing life, if you like. You know, I'm in charge of basically everything that goes on at the club in football terms, and I work with great people, I want to try and establish something here that I'll be lasting. You know, that when my time comes for me to go, that I'll stand back and maybe be given another job somewhere within the club and say, well, I was partly responsible for creating whatever we've created. You know, to pass on a youth system that's second on, to pass on a reserve team that's got players bursting to get into the first team, and to pass on a really good first team that's capable of competing at the very highest level and be involved in creating the best stadium, or one of the best stadiums in Europe, certainly the best stadium in Britain. I have no intention of leaving this place. I don't want to leave, and that's short term. That's both in the year and a half of my contract that's left, and I'd hope to be signing a long-term contract after that if the board sees fit.
1991 started for Rangers with the traditional New Year's match against Celtic. It was Rangers' home game, and Richard Gough and Paul McStay led their teams out on a day which marked the 20th anniversary of the Ibrox disaster. Rangers chairman David Murray unveiled a plaque commemorating the tragedy, and the 36,000 crowd paid silent tribute to those who died. After that, the fourth Old Firm clash of the season.
Awkward one, straight into the net! Walters has scored for Rangers! What a remarkable corner kick, right out of the blue. Walters again, to Sandy Robertson. Beaten to that by Grant, but here's Robertson now with a great chance for Rangers. Taking on Bonner, pulling it back for Hazley. Sandy Robertson. Mark Hazley tied it up for Rangers.
Celtic's problems on the field were matched by growing uncertainty about the club's financial future. The directors decided it was time to appoint a chief executive, and the man who landed the job, Terry Cassidy, immediately became a controversial figure.
There are quite a few problems in Celtic Football Club, yeah, but they're not nowhere near the things that are painted or you may read about or hear about. They're quite ordinary, actually. It's just that being under the spotlight all the time, couple that with a run of bad results, and you get the sort of thing that we are getting at the moment. At the end of the day, any football club is really about success on the field, isn't it? So all the other things we talk about, as you quite rightly say, spending money in the transfer market in order to give you the team, in order to get you into the European, etc., etc. That's what it's all about. So if we had the best stadium with the best facilities and the most profitable commercial thing going, and a terrible team, we'd still be looked upon as failures. Perhaps there's an even better way of doing it, and the so-called best are doing it now. And that's the path we've got to set out to go. We've got to set out to be undeniably the best. That's got to be our sort of motto to work to. Might never make it, but certainly if we don't set out to be that, we won't make it. Anybody that's thinking that all of a sudden there's going to be a magic transformation and here we go, rocketing up the league and off into Europe and knocking off a couple of trophies and riding around in open-top buses, that ain't going to happen for a while.
The town of Perth was enjoying Premier League football with St Johnstone, but the team's purpose-built stadium was in the grip of winter on the day they were due to play Aberdeen in February. The Saints were challenging for a place in Europe and were keen to have the game go on. Manager Alex Totten helped clear the snow, as did club chairman Jeff Brown. And the local farmer who donated land to the club and who gave his name to McDermott Park was also on hand. But this was a game which was even more vital to Aberdeen. They were 7 points behind Rangers, and everyone knew they were hanging on by a thread.
I don't see a team as professional and as good as Rangers losing a 7-point lead. But you just have to keep on hoping that maybe they'll begin to drop the odd point here and there. There is a few games to go, and if we can maintain the form that we showed against Hearts, then you know, we remain in hope.
Give the chance for Booth. This could settle it. Yes, Aberdeen have scored. Alec McLeish playing a crucial role, and the man who has looked most likely all night might now have won the match for Aberdeen.
4 days later, Rangers re-established their 7-point advantage with an impressive home win against Motherwell.
Here's McCoist. That's a great effort by McCoist. Sheer genius from McCoist. Still looking for the chance to clinch the match. There's Hateley. Absolutely magnificent, that finish from Hateley.
By the time Rangers went to Aberdeen in March, they were 8 points clear, and everyone at Pittodrie accepted that this was the last chance of keeping the title race alive. This was an opportunity for Rangers to wrap up the championship, but Pittodrie proved, as always, to be a testing environment.
Out by right, there's Harlock. That was a chance, all right. The chance now for Johnston. It couldn't have been closer. Trevor Stephen looking for Gary Stevens, breaking on the right, followed back by Scott Booth. Good play by Gary Stevens. A chance now for Rangers. And Hateley was inches away. Trevor Stephen with the corner. Goff at the edge of the penalty area, making the run now. Up goes Goff. Fine effort by the Rangers captain. There's Stephen. Hateley trying to make an angle ahead of him. So is Johnston. Trevor Stevens crossed. There's Hateley. Well, that's one he'll feel he should have hit the target with. The Rangers supporters already chanting that they're the champions. Really believing that a draw here will be good enough to ensure the end of the Aberdeen challenge. There's Maurice Johnston. Good angle made on the right by Booth. That's for Hillhouse. Fine, flashing header there by Hillhouse. There's Irvin. Wasn't quite what it was intended. David Robertson plays it in. There's Hillhouse. Aberdeen on ahead. Sheer joy for the Aberdeen supporters with just 1 minute left.
That victory proved to be crucial for the Dons, and Rangers were now hitting their worst spell of this season. 2 weeks later, they went to Celtic Park, having lost there in the Cup the previous week.
It's lost by Chris Woods. It's into the back of the net. It's a goal for Celtic. Linton Rogan, a long ball forward, looking for Tommy Coyne. It's 1 against 1. Coyne getting away from Davy Dodds. Tommy Coyne, he must score. Oh, he's forced wide. Still Coyne. Joe Miller. Joe Miller makes it 2-0 to Celtic. Stay the header. Tommy Coyne.
One piece of good news for Rangers was the return of Ian Durrant after being out through injury for 2.5 years. His goal helped get Rangers back on the rails against St Johnstone. But Aberdeen continued to pile on the pressure, even after going a goal behind to Hearts at Tynecastle.
Against Irvin, Robertson with the cross. Oh, it's an own goal. The ball going in off Stuart McCummey. Running by Robertson. Again, Aberdeen with plenty of men forward. The header, and it's a goal for Aberdeen. Hans Hillhouse, a magnificent header. Everyone forward at the moment. Stuart McCummey with the shot. Oh, magnificent goal by Stuart McCummey. Turned by Jess. And away from Sanderson. Challenged by Tosh McKinlay. In comes Brian Grant. And a third goal for Aberdeen, Robert Connor. And surely that ties up the points. And the Ben to Bet. Forward to Connor. Robert Connor must make it number 4, and he does. His own second goal of the game.
By mid-April, the gap at the top of the Premier League was down to 2 points, and everything pointed to a dramatic showdown between Rangers and Aberdeen on the last day of the season at Ibrox. Meanwhile, at the bottom of the league, St Mirren were struggling. Despite having bought Steve Archibald and Victor, the team hadn't shown any dramatic improvement. Manager Tony Fitzpatrick accepted responsibility and resigned. Into the Love Street hot seat came former Celtic manager Davy Hay. He'd been away from Scottish football for 3 years, but in his first game back he recognised St Mirren's frustrations. Already he was planning changes.
I think we need fresh faces here next season. That is possibly sometimes could be easier said than done. If I were to get that in some of the sort of strengths here, I think we could do better. It's a case of having to do better anyway, because if not, I think you'd be faced possibly with the same problem again, the sort of the dogfight in the relegation zone.
Meanwhile, a few miles up the road, the big managerial story was about to break at Ibrox, where Graham Souness was ready to hit Rangers with a bombshell.
Sky Sports, in association with Castlemaine 4X, brings you Australian Rugby League at its best. Join us for the roughest, toughest game in the world, where the Australians wouldn't give a 4X for anything else. Come out of the tunnels and onto the pitches for the biggest names, the biggest games. Join us for Australian Rugby League, Thursday night at 10 on Sky Sports.
When you see a car that looks as good as this, the last thing you expect is a price as good as this. The new Escort Encore.
New Alaska from Lynx. Explore it.
The start of a new term.
We are going to have a great year.
And Todd Howard
All about you.
has a hair-raising tale.
I just had a beard all over my body.
Strange boy.
You'll be okay.
But I'm a dog.
It's that dog you were dancing with.
My reputation as an educator is riding on this boxing team. It's only the beginning.
Teen Wolf 2 on Sky Movies Plus.
Gentlemen, we're gathered here today to confirm that Graham Souness has decided to join Liverpool Football Club.
It was the news Rangers fans didn't want to believe. The manager, who'd only weeks before said his future was at Ibrox, had changed his mind and was now going to take over from his old pal Kenny Dalglish at Liverpool. Suddenly, the Rangers supporters who'd worshipped Souness turned against him, and the man who'd been credited with revolutionising Scottish football had departed in controversial and bitter circumstances. For Souness, there was the consolation of a warm welcome at Anfield. He was the man the Liverpool fans wanted, and the club was delighted to have pulled off the biggest managerial transfer of the year.
It gives me the greatest pleasure to announce the appointment of Graham Souness as the team manager of Liverpool Football Club. The appointment takes effect immediately.
I'm really disappointed in him, and just a rat bag, and he shouldn't have done it.
But surely he, the club owes him something as well.
No, I don't feel that, no.
What's your view?
Turned his back, and as he said he was staying there, he just went. It's not very nice. If he was going, he should have said he was going, that was it.
But you don't feel that he wanted to stay until the end of the season anyway?
What's the point of him staying, getting the glory, and he's going away?
You think the chairman was right?
Yeah.
What's your view?
I think he's let us down, because I mean, he says he was staying and he's left.
There's been so much criticism of him. Do you not have any sympathy at all that he wanted to go back to Liverpool and do something with Liverpool?
Well, I think he's done well in that, but I mean, I just think he's still let us down.
Is there anyone here that supports Graham Souness?
No.
Said
no.
Disappointed he left, but I think they've got the right man for the job now. I'd like to know the real reason why he did leave Rangers Football Club.
don't think that's ever been disclosed.
Do you not feel that he says that Rangers supporters might have short memories about what the club was like before he came?
I think that's true, but at the end of the day, he did a great job over the last 5 years, but I'd like to know the real reason why he did leave.
What about the future now under Walter Smith?
There's one good thing about Souness leaving. McCoy will get a game now.
What about Walter Smith? Do you think he's going to do good things for the club?
Good manager.
The most underestimated coach in Britain.
Walter Smith took over with Rangers 2 points ahead and with 4 games to go. His managerial debut was against St Mirren, and he had to endure a long, agonising wait for his team to score.
John Brown with a free kick. Rangers pushing players forward. Hately underneath this. Back with Hurlock. Good play by Terry Hurlock. He has Gary Stevens on the right. There's Robertson. Yes, he scored for Rangers. It's a brilliant finish by the youngster, and the sense of relief among the Rangers supporters is immense. Headed away there by Clark. There's the header and the breakthrough at last. The header found the net. It came from Ian Ferguson, and it's his first goal of the season.
There was no let-up from Aberdeen, though, as they went to Love Street with 3 games to go.
Keep them there by Martin. In comes Jim Betts. Aberdeen have scored.
Meanwhile, Charlie Nicholas was back for Celtic and was inspiring them in the late battle to qualify for Europe.
Miller has found space. That's for Coyne, a good chance again for Celtic. There's Nicholas! Charlie Nicholas gets his 5th of the season for Celtic. And then something of a disaster for Alan McLaren.
On the second last Saturday, Rangers went to Motherwell, and the league championship was blown wide open.
John Philliban. So it's Mark Walters against Maxwell. Oh, and he's missed it. Chance for Motherwell to counter-attack. Good ball from Kirk to Arnott. Dougie Arnott. Oh, he scored! A tremendous goal by Dougie Arnott. And here they come again, Rangers stretched. It's Arnott again. Chris Woods committing himself. And he scored! It's 3-0 to Motherwell.
That last goal for Motherwell put Aberdeen on top of the table. They were on the same points and the same goal difference as Rangers, but they'd scored more goals, so a draw at Ibrox on the last day of the season would give the Dons the title. Those lucky enough to have tickets for the big showdown were queuing early at Ibrox for a match which was being billed as a cup final within the league championship. It was the first time in 28 years the top 2 teams had met in a league decider on the last day of the season. And inside, the atmosphere was electric, as 36,000 fans eagerly awaited the dramatic finale to a fascinating season.
Even right. The option provided by Van der Ven on the outside. There's Hillhouse! And the best chance of the match so far falls to Hans Hillhouse. That's good play by Stevens. Brian Grant's header. And a fine first-time effort by Ferguson. Cross is too high for Hately. Retrieved though by Durant. Headed away by Wright only as far as Ferguson. But it was well taken by Ian Ferguson on his weaker foot, the left. Kimmy's clearance. Walters wants to bring the ball down and take on Wright. Going for the early cross. There's Hately. It's a magnificent goal for Rangers. 5 minutes from half-time and Ibrox erupts. It's just about the first time in the match. Mark Hately's at the better of Alec McLeish. Hately getting up again. McLeish didn't follow him that time. Here's Connor. Bringing up the line for Booth. The layup was intended for McKimmie, but he's released Johnston. Hately waits in the middle. He will look to be offside. Well, the referee's allowed the goal. And Rangers are 2 in front. Every eye now on the referee as the ball is out of play, waiting to see if Brian McGinley will bring this match to an end and make it formally Rangers Championship. There it is! Rangers have won the championship.
So Rangers had taken the title for the 4th time in 5 years. And with all the tensions of the final few weeks over, it was time for the fans and the players to let their hair down and enjoy their triumph. As Rangers enjoyed their latest triumph, the new man in charge was ready to give all the credit to Graham Souness.
When you work closely with somebody as I did with Graham for 5 years, and then he leaves, I think he's came in for a lot of undue criticism. I think he's been probably the best thing that's happened to Rangers in maybe a 20-year period, and he's left the club. And I was only too glad that we got there, simply because I think people will then remember him having won 4 championships in 5 years, because taking over for 4 games was no judge of me by any means, and his record coming to Scotland and winning 4 championships in 5 seasons is an outstanding one.
So that's the last Premier League table. Rangers 2 points ahead of Aberdeen, and Celtic snatching 3rd place from Dundee United on the last day of the season to win a place in Europe. For Graham Souness, Rangers' win provided a bittersweet moment as he reflected on his departure from Ibrox.
I'm sure there's a lot of Rangers supporters feel that I let them down, but that wasn't the case. I did want to stay and see out the season and accept the criticism that would have invariably followed. That wouldn't have worried me. It's never worried me in the past. I would have stuck with it. I'm just glad for everybody, even those supporters who would say, I deserted them and criticise me. I'm glad for them, because I feel there's a line in a song that Rangers supporters sings that no one likes us, we don't care. And I really, really believe, and I felt it more and more this season than I've ever felt it, there is such an anti-Rangers feeling within Scotland, within Scottish football, that they're up there on their own. And I'd like to wish them, the club, the players, everybody who's involved, the best of luck, because they need it, because they're up against it up there. Jealousy is a terrible thing. People who are jealous take it to bed with them. It must be like a big cancer sitting there. And it's something that a lot of people feel towards Rangers Football Club.
You once spoke about that privately in Scotland, about the difficulty you had with this strange Scottish tradition of criticising people who are successful. Do you feel any more able to talk about that now that you're in England?
No. People would only see it as me having a go. I think I've said all I want to say, and I feel there's tremendous jealousies about Rangers Football Club. People who are involved. Unfortunately, people who matter, people who've got a say in the running of the game. Pathetic little figures.
What about you going back to Rangers to buy players?
I don't think that's on. Rangers have 2 or 3 outstanding players and a lot of really good players, but they have 2 or 3 world-class players, and I don't think I'd be shown any encouragement. And quite rightly so. Every top team wants to hold on to their best players. Rangers are no different. Rangers next year will only be stronger again when you consider that Richard Gough, Trevor Steven, Kuznetsov, who was a truly outstanding player, and we've all been out for long stages in this season. Morris Johnson, another one. McCoy's out for a long time. They're only going to. I won't say it'll be easy for them next year, because they still have to battle and work hard in every game. But if they can keep those players fit, then the rest might just hand the trophy over now for next season as well.
Let's look at league reconstruction. Halfway through the season, all of a sudden it's decided that the rules are going to be changed. What was your reaction to that at the time?
Well, I think there's some people who are very badly mistaken that you'll create more revenue by having more games. I think people in Scotland will choose their games more carefully. And I think it's the worst thing that's happened to Scottish football in a long, long time.
Coming across, you're feeling...
You're looking, sorry David to keep coming, you're looking to, it's only after, you're looking to encourage better players to go up and play in Scotland. And Rangers have done that. Make no mistake, it's Rangers that are responsible for any revival. Regardless of what people at the SFA might say, it's Rangers Football Club that are responsible for the upsurge in gates, for the interest in football in Scotland. It's Rangers, it's not anybody else. It's not because they've done clever things in the past or are doing them now. It's Rangers Football Club. And it's about time people started paying attention to that. Because you can't keep hammering them, as they try to do. You can't keep stamping on them and punishing them and hammering them every opportunity, because sooner or later they're going to get fed up with that.
Are you saying that Scottish football, led by the association as it is at the moment and the Scottish League, is actually going in the wrong direction?
I think the reconstruction, I think the introduction of more games, the timing of it was wrong, and I think the idea of it is wrong.
And how does that translate to players and what the public will see on the field?
Well, I think you have to ask, the better players are looking for new challenges all the time. The lesser players want to be playing the better players all the time. So it's great for the lesser players, but worse for the good players. And Rangers have all the good players. I was only ever interested in Rangers, and basically I still am only interested in Rangers. And for Rangers, it's not a good thing.
So where does that mean that Scottish clubs are going in Europe and the Scotland national team is going in world terms?
Well, for Andy Roxburgh, it's more games. He has enough problems as it is, because he has enough call-offs because of overplayed players. If I'm manager of Rangers and I've spent £1 million on a player, and I've got Celtic coming up on a Saturday, and I've got a friendly international, although that in itself is not important, but it's important for Andy to prepare for the next international, I'm going to say, wait a minute, Andy, you've got to do me a favour here. He's got a groin strain, he's got a calf strain, whatever strain he's got, can you miss him out? So the preparation is not there. And it's not helping the national cause at all the more games, certainly not. It's not helping the players who are tired anyway, playing each other 4 times. The top teams must at least play each other 4 times. If they're successful, then it can go on to 5 and 6, with replays even more than that, the successful teams. You're going to have tired players physically and tired players mentally. And if players are tired, they won't give their best.
So are you depressed for the future of Scottish football?
As I said, my only interest was Rangers Football Club. I think Rangers Football Club are in such a healthy position. They can only go on from strength to strength, and it's an ominous sign for the rest of them.
Just coming on to the point in the season when Kenny Dalglish resigned as Liverpool manager, what was your reaction when you first heard about that?
I couldn't believe it. I thought Kenny would have done the job for a lot longer than he decided to do. I thought Kenny would have been there for the next 10, 15, 20 years, because I know that Kenny loves football. But we're all our own men. Kenny's decided that that's the best thing for him and his family, and he has to go along with that. He's made his decision, and good luck to him.
So how quickly did the machinery start that was eventually going to take you to Anfield?
Can't be that specific now. It was all within 2 weeks. Someone made the initial approach, and I think it's been well documented. I initially said no, and another 2 or 3 weeks went by, and actually went back to them, to the person that made the approach, and said if they're still interested, I'd be prepared to talk to them. I've done what I feel is best for me. At the end of the day, I'd only ask people to understand that. What's best for Graham Souness. I gave a lot in 5 years to Rangers Football Club.
What made you change your mind about the Liverpool job?
Maybe I need a change. Maybe I'm that type of person that needs a new challenge every 5 years, every 4 years, every 3 years, every 7 years, whatever. Deep down I felt it was the best thing for me.
In terms of satisfaction, was this season any less or any greater than the previous ones?
No, greater. Their achievement this year of winning the championship is greater than any other year before, with the possible exception of the first time we won it, because we won it with a very average team. This year, given their injuries I think you'd have to check how many players Rangers have actually used. They've used a hell of a lot of players. And I think given the injuries they had, and again, not to good players, but to their key players, and no one can argue that Trevor Steven and Kuznetsov are not key players. The injuries they had to those players and other players, and have still gone and won the championship, says everything for the character of the players at Rangers Football Club, and they deserve all the credit.
What's the future for Rangers then, do you think?
I see them being champions, given a real bad run of injuries again, and given a hell of a lot of bad luck, they'll be champions in the next 5 years in that league.
Are you a happier man now back at Liverpool?
I was happy in Scotland. I'm happy right now. I'm not delighted we finished second. You get nothing for finishing second. I'm happy that my old team won the championship. I'm really looking forward to next season, and hopefully we can sign a couple of new players for the start of next season, and maybe retain our championship. And I'd love nothing more than a year down the road for Rangers to be playing Liverpool in the European Champions.
This is Sky Sports, a part of the British Sky Broadcasting Network.